All right, what is good, everyone? A bit of a different video today, but a lot of you guys reach out and ask what I get up to day by day, how I went from making, $4,000 a month as a chippy to $4,000 a month online to $10,000 a month to now being able to sort of scale that, just selling one digital product. So a bit of a different one. I know this is like a bit far away, but a lot of you guys have been asking for like an insight of what it looks like, 12 months down the line and sort of how to scale yourself, how to make more money. So I'm going to pretty much break down how I made $38,000 in the last 35 days, just selling one digital product. Obviously, yeah, as I said, the first goal for you guys is to replace your income, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help you guys do that. But a little bit down the line, and this is sort of what it takes, but also like I think a lot of what I'm about to say will be transferable into you guys starting up your journey. And even for my people inside ABC, yeah, I'm going to send this out to a lot of them for the people who are starting to make their first 5 to 10K a month online, how to then scale that and take it to the next level. So with that, the biggest key contributors to actually, being able to scale yourself, being able to make, to scale past that first $10,000 month to something that's a lot bigger, is the first thing you need is a product that delivers and works. So, a lot of people are talking about digital products and stuff like that. And you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time selling just a random digital product that you might find on Etsy, that you might find on like ClickBank or something like that. But it will never be long term if you don't have a product that actually works and can deliver based off what you're saying. So that's the most important thing that I found is having something that actually gets results, because if not, what purpose are you really serving? Why are you even going out of your way to take the time to, I guess, promote something that isn't going to work? It just really doesn't make sense, and it's never going to last long term. So that's like the most important thing before anything else is having a product that you can sell with conviction because it's worked either for yourself or it's working for many others. But from there to be actually able to help people out, actually help people, whether it's in the fitness niche, the relationship niche, the wealth niche, you need the skills in order to be able to help those people out. So with that, a big thing for me was learning high income skills, actually taking the time to learn these skills to then be able to make sure I can deliver on a product. Now, from there, you need to scale past $10,000 a month. You need to be actually willing to invest back into the business. So once you start making all this money, to take it to a new level, you need to be in a position, or you need to be open to pouring the money that you're making back into making more money later on down the line. From there, it's really just about having a set routine, something that you stick to every day and consistently doing that. Now, with that, the first and most important thing is having a winning product. If you can't deliver, or you're affiliated with a product or service that's on offer that can't even get your customers results, what do you really have? What are you really trying to do? Because at the end of the day, like, a lot of the people who are out there pushing courses that they have no idea about, they're just trying to make money. I can guarantee you in a year or two's time, these people won't be making money. They'll be back in their jobs. So the first and most important thing is having a winning product. Your number one priority should be your clients and customers and delivering on the fulfillment side of things. Before anything else, you have to have a winning product that you can deliver on, or the product that you're affiliated with can deliver on. The most money goes to the people where the most value is provided and the most results are proven. So this not only leads to, serving your purpose, if you've created a personal brand, or whether you're a sales rep or whatever it may be, you've got a purpose to serve. For me, that is helping people who were in the position I was this time last year, because I know how much of a dark spot I was in, and how much, learning skills, actually being able to, have more freedom. Freedom was the biggest thing for me. I'd just gone through a breakup. So my purpose is being served every day. When, I had one of my boys, John, call me up the other week. He just left his job. He reached out to me back in October, November, around 5 or 6 months ago. And he was able to leave his job, and he called me crying. Like, two grown men on the phone crying with each other because of, I guess, what the conversation we had 5 or 6 months ago. He was pretty much in a bang on similar spot, just directionless, lost, sick of life, sick of his job, sorry, and life in general. So you've got to have a purpose, and you've got to serve that purpose, because that is what will create a long lasting, successful business. But also, more connections. So if you have a winning digital product, you have a winning product or service that you're either affiliated with, or you've got your own offer. This will lead to more connections in the space, more collaborations and things like that, because your network and the people you surround yourself with, the people you'll meet along the way, will be based off the value that you can provide and the product that you have on offer. On top of that, it creates more authority in the space, more lives changed. As I said with John, you know, it's really about serving, having a purpose, and then making sure you're serving that purpose. If you have no experience in a particular field in regards to how do I find a winning product, and you want to create your own product or service, so say you are just getting into fitness, you want to create your own digital product, you want to help other people out, but you haven't even sort of reached a physique yourself, or you're still sort of testing yourself, how can you expect to do the same for others? So if you are wanting to go out there and create your own offer, create your own digital product, but you haven't actually done it yourself, it doesn't really make sense. So be wary of that. If you are going to go down that route, then I would highly suggest having that offer for free. So for me myself, I actually haven't created my own offer as of yet. I feel like I'm a long way away from, yeah, I'm still building myself. I still have a long way to go. But for people who are wanting to go down that route, they're speaking to a lot of different creators and business owners. The way they started was actually offering their service for free, getting results that way. So it actually works. And then from there, starting to talk about pricing. Now, if you're wanting to promote a digital product but not create one, the best way to do that is to become an affiliate marketer, a closer, or a setter for a business that's already up and running, and a successful business at that. And then you build yourself up that way. So you build the skill set up yourself that way. And you're just affiliating yourself with something that people know, like, and trust, something that is successful, and that is something that will serve your purpose. So the most important thing here is having a digital product that will serve your purpose. Because if you're not, what do you really have? How long is it going to last? And we're here for longevity and making this something long term. Now, with that, the next most important thing was having the actual skills to be able to then deliver and help people out. So the skills I recommend to everyone is to learn sales and marketing, and to take the time initially to build those skills. A lot of people just want to jump in and make $10,000 in their first week, and maybe some people do, but it never lasts long term. It never lasts long term. So take the time, take 30, 60, 90 days to learn these skills. The skills of sales and marketing needed to be successful in anything. If you don't have sales skills and you're on an offer, or you're affiliated with an offer, and you can't sell, you won't make money. But say you've got the best sales skills in the world, but you have no one to sell to, still, you're not going to make money. So you need to learn sales, you need to learn marketing. They're, in my opinion, the best two high income skills to learn, because they've been around for generations. Sales, marketing, every business, every person, every successful, entrepreneur, business owner, whatever it may be, has those skills. And then on top of that, once you do reach a position where you're looking to scale, you then need to be able to lead a team. You need to have a team behind you. And if you don't know sales, how can you lead, a team of people in sales if you don't have the skills yourself? So, as I said, take the time to initially build the skill set. And, with that, it'll just pour into stuff later on, maybe 12 months down the line, where you're able to start scaling towards 10, 20, 30, 40K a month. So just thank yourself for later, for actually taking the time to learn these skills. Now, on top of that, sort of the next step from there, obviously, first you've got to find a winning product. You've got to have the skills to be able to deliver on that product and actually help people out. Now, to then scale, you need to be willing to invest money back into your business, or back into yourself. So with that, like, a lot of you guys watching this might be complete beginners. You maybe have seen some results online, maybe none at all. The first thing I always say to people when they ask, how did I get to the position I was in? I invested a lot of money into different courses and stuff, and got fucked over a lot, until I got that guidance, and, found the right mentors for me to teach me these high income skills. Um, you got to be willing to invest into yourself first off to learn these skills. But from there, you've got to be willing to invest back into the business. So as I was saying earlier, you need a team around you to begin to scale. So you won't get anywhere without a team. If you're just trying to be a one-man show, you're trying to do it all yourself, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to be doing, So you've got five different tasks there that you're trying to do yourself. You're going to be doing each of them at 20%. You're not going to be able to, your business will just never grow. You will just never grow. Your income will never exceed, I guess, the team that you've got around you. So basically, the idea of having a team around you is to delegate, automate tasks that will take time off your hands. What I mean by that is, say, you've got those five tasks for the day, whether it's, taking sales calls, setting appointments, posting content, making sure the product or service you've got is delivering, and you've got five different people doing that, they can all do that with 100% of their focus towards that. So stuff gets done more efficiently, but it gets done at a better quality, meaning, in the long run, it's just more money that's going to be in your pocket. Although initially you're going to be, paying these people, paying them commissions, whatever it may be. In the long run, it is what's going to make you more money so that you can then focus on the main needle movers that only you can control, which then leads to, if you're willing to invest back into your business, build a team, it leads to more customers, better fulfillment, more results, and more time. So what I mean by that is, like, if you've got a team behind you, you can then put more time into the main needle movers, which for you is making sure that you have a winning product. That's the number one thing, as we said earlier. So, if you get these tasks automated, then you now have more time to make sure that your product or service that you're, affiliated with, or that you're going to be running, if you have your own offer, your time will be poured into making sure the customers have the best experience. And with that, you're going to be getting more customers and better fulfillment. So from there, it's really, really simple. Just having a set routine, something a lot of people struggle with, something I struggled with when I first left my job. So basically, what a typical day would look like for me initially would it be all over the place. I'd be trying to set appointments. I'd be trying to say, oh, I've got to post a video on social media. Oh, I've got to do this all over the shop. Over the last 35 days, when I've, really started to scale, I stuck to the exact same routine. So I was up early every morning. I do 3 hours of deep work, which is basically 3 hours of work where my phone's in another room and I'm just focused, getting the biggest things done that will make me the most money and also help my team make the most money. So for you guys who are new, a set routine is still everything. When I was working full time, I still had a set routine. So I'd get up an hour early, do what I needed to do, then get ready for work, go to work, come home, go to the gym, and then like the last 2 hours of the night, I'd be learning the skills. Maybe I'd landed that first setting role with setting appointments. So a set routine is everything because it's just something that becomes normal. If you're all over the shop, you could do 12 hours of work and get 3 hours worth of deep undistracted work done. So on top of that as well, a big thing that I sort of prioritized over the last month, which I always sort of have, but really I dialed in my diet on top of my training. So when you're, in one area of life with, for me, it was my physical health, making sure, trying to get in really good shape and being consistent and ruthless with my diet, my training, being consistent with that, then it pours into like the other stuff that you're doing. So business, family life, you're, on all levels, you're becoming the best version of yourself. So when you're, strict with the diet, you're starting to be proud of the shape you're getting in. It then makes you want to do well in other things. Rather, if you're eating like shit, you're waking up late, if you've got no routine, it's going to pour into whatever you guys are trying to do. If you're wanting to get into the online space and you're not prioritizing other things, what's really the push for you to do and excel in something like this? So with that, with all these things, that sort of contributed to, me being able to scale the last month. It then just came down to doing all these things consistently. Consistency is everything. See, time and time again, people coming into the space, they do 3 days here, that'll, have a few days off, 4 days. This is something you have to do every single day. And now initially, that's sort of hard because it's something new. You're trying to break bad habits where maybe you were watching Netflix in the past or something like that. Now, the key is just set yourself 14 days where you're just going to stick to this new routine every single day. You're going to, try and reshape the way you think. Just stick to it for 14 days. Now, from there, it just becomes second nature. So, the key to my whole journey from day one when I started, to when, 2 months later, I landed my first role. I was just showing up every single day, regardless of how busy I was at work, regardless of, the results outside of that. If you have a shit day, you still show up. You still show up. You don't have a day off. Maybe you're having a shit day, but you still go to the gym, maybe do an hour of work. You're just training your mind to show up every single day. It compounds over time. And, you have days where you make no money, you'll have days where you don't get the results you're after. But when you're consistent, as I said, it compounds over time, which then leads to days where you can make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And, over time, those days become more consistent. But it all comes down to consistency. All this stuff is great, but if you don't have consistency with that, it becomes irrelevant too. So, with that, these were basically, this is like a lot of what my days look like, making sure that, the people who I am helping out are getting the best results for them. Because then that also pulls into me being more passionate about the work I'm doing. It leads to more fulfillment for me when people like John are reaching out, crying, saying, you've changed my life and things like that. That makes me want to push even harder for more people who were in a rough, or for more people who are currently in a rough spot, similar to what I was this time last year. So, yeah, this is a lot of what I do now. A lot of it is spent into, building a good team of people around me, and building and helping create a winning digital product that people can, confidently say has transformed their lives the same way it's transformed mine. But with that, that's pretty much it. A bit of a different one. I know it's probably a bit like um far in advance. But I do, a lot of you guys reach out and ask what a lot of my days are spent doing. It's always 3 or 4 hours in the morning, getting the work done, then just like prioritizing health, going for a run, getting my gym out the way, eating right. And then from there, it's just like building teams, building relationships and networks in the space, and spending a lot of time with the boys who are just getting started, sharing whatever guidance, knowledge, and wisdom that I can do. And then from there, that's, pretty much the day done, where I can, enjoy the rest of the day, spend more time with my family. Maybe I'm traveling, I can go out for a nice dinner or something like that. That's basically, what my life looks like 12 months, 12 months post getting started, 9 months since leaving my job. So with that, any questions, let me know. DM me on Instagram if you do have any, or leave them in the comments down below. If you do want the chance to actually work with my team, work with my mentors, and work alongside me to help you, whether you're just starting out, you're struggling to get starting out, you're working a job that you don't want to work, and you're wanting to, learn high income skills so that later on down the line you can, put them into something that can make you an income. I'll leave a link down below to book a call with my team. Sorry. But yeah, aside from that, any questions, let me know. Make sure to like, subscribe. I hope this was of value. And that was a bit of a different one. But yeah, I appreciate it. I hope you guys all win, no matter what position you're in. Anything is possible, and I promise you that. Yeah, I see it time and time again. Don't think all hope is lost. And yeah, cheers, guys.